Hey guys, it's Marco again. Today I'll be talking about gearing, loot distribution and why do you need to start playing PvP as a PvE mage, especially fire mage. Also, I'll use this video to announce that I will start doing some PvP guides, so it's easier for you to understand arenas and PvP overall. In the first video I'll cover items, talents, PvP talents and some tips and tricks, so pay attention for that. But now for the topic of this video. Problem with today's gearing is that you basically don't get items from dungeons, and if you do get an item, it's usually quite underleveled. Which just results in frustration and soon you'll stop playing Mythic Plus overall. I'm just doing 1 or 4 Mythics per week for my weekly chest, since I don't see a single point in wasting my time on something which won't increase my power level. The whole Mythic Plus loot is heavily uncertain and you never know if you will get the item you want. The best thing you can do is to farm the dungeon over and over again in hopes of getting that one item, but that usually just leads into insanity. Now we covered one source of loot and it's quite underwhelming. Let's check the other one, and that's raiding. Raiding items are quite rare. There are only 4 item drops per 20 people and you usually end up getting 0, 1 or maximum 2 items if you do a full clear of Castle Natria. In my own example, I killed 12 mythic bosses so far and I only managed to loot 1 piece myself, and that's my weapon. It's fine because items there are usually super strong and getting an item actually excites me, unlike the Mythic Plus. But again, this shares the same fate as Mythic Plus. It's uncertain that you're going to get an item. The best items in the raid are quite wanted for everyone, so you'll need to kill bosses several times in order to finally have a chance at getting that item. Then comes the PvP loot. This for me was the first source of gear back in BFA, since it was just too random and not rewarding, something like today's Mythic Plus. But that has completely changed now. We finally have a vendor for PvP gear. The amount of conquest points needed for an item isn't high. You'll spend 3 weeks for a 2-handed weapon, 1.5 weeks for almost every other piece of loot. Gear has a guaranteed item level, which corresponds to your arena rating, and you can always upgrade it later, when you increase your arena rank. This is my favorite gear change in the whole expansion. Basically, you're constantly working towards an item, and the more arenas you play, you are going for a higher item level as well. And that for me is the peak, gearing wise at least. Another good thing about PvP gearing is that you're never behind. I can level up a fresh character and grind out all the conquest points that were available, so there is a catch-up mechanic gearing wise. And for a pure example, here is my gear. In weekly caches, I only took PvE gear, since my PvP options were really bad. I got my neck in first week of heroic raiding. Shoulders are from a world boss, but I'll replace them today. I'm grinding conquest points in order to get 226 item level haste versatility shoulders. I got this cloak in the last raid. The guy who looted the cloak didn't need it. I bought my chest with conquest points. Bracers are from weekly cache. My weapon is the only piece of loot I actually looted from the Mythic raid. I bought this trinket with conquest. I got the other trinket from a weekly quest to defeat 4 Mythic dungeons. I got traded this ring because I had a 184 haste mastery ring. The other ring is again from weekly cache. I got the boots from Shriekwing, but again they traded me the item. My legs are the same one as the legs from Sludgefist Mythic, but I just got them from the conquest points. I got this belt from my first weekly cache, and lastly the gloves are again from conquest. So at the end of the day I'll have 2 items looted from the raid, 3 items traded from the raid, 1 item from the weekly quest, 3 items from the weekly cache, 5 items from PvP and a legendary. So as a semi-hardcore PvE player, I got 6 items from PvE content, and as a casual PvPer, I got 5 items from PvP content. That doesn't sound right. And here's my droptimizer from Mythic Castle Natria. I can only replace my PvP shoulders and a few other PvE items. which just means that 4 of my PvP items are best loot for fire mages. Hence the need for us to do PvP. And just due to that reason I will start making arena guides, since I got the Duelist in a reasonable time. For me, the most optimal way to grind out Duelist is by your PvE guild organizing rated PvP battlegrounds and grinding that out, since that's a very efficient time investment for gear. The PvP ladder has never been more competitive due to high fluctuation of PvE players. I think the only solution to this problem would be having a similar system attached to Mythic Plus. So some kind of guaranteed item drop which will upgrade to certain item level depending on the highest key you have timed. So for example, in this patch you will be able to get a targeted 226 item level Mythic Plus item every second week, if you timed all plus 14 dungeons, so similar to ranked Duelist, which would be a great initiative for players to play more Mythic Plus. But that's it for this video. I just wanted to speak about this weird gearing system. I don't mind it since I prefer PvP over Mythic Plus. But I think it's unfair that pure PvE players are going to be behind gear-wise because they don't do PvP. So now I want to hear from you guys in the comments. Is my idea nice or you prefer something else? Do you like that Mythic Plus doesn't offer as much gear as it used to before? And overall, what are your opinions on that? If you found this video interesting, please leave a like and consider subscribing. We'll start with the PvP lessons soon. And as always, until next time, take care.